It's August 12th, the day Cleopatra VII committed suicide and Casey Affleck was born. Coincidence? You decide. But you're not here to learn about celebrity gossip, because this is a show about video game history. We don't have much time, so let's see what happened this week in video game history. First things first, we have two major game system releases this week. On second thought, it's really only one, and the Virtual Boy. On August 14, 1989, Sega released the Genesis, the first 16-bit game system to hit American shores. It launched with Altered Beast, Last Blade, Space Harrier 2, Thunder Force 2, and Tommy Lasorda Baseball. It would take nearly 2 full years for Sega to release Sonic the Hedgehog. In other console news, August 14th also saw the release of Nintendo's Virtual Boy. It launched with Mario's Tennis as a pack-in and only 3 other games: Galactic Pinball, Red Alarm, and Telero Boxing. 7 months later, Nintendo officially discontinued the quirky system. On to games celebrating birthdays this week, we have the original Metroid, happy to be 26 years old. It's the 25th anniversary of Life Force, which was sold to Americans as the sequel to Gradius, and not Salamander like in Japan. This week also marks the birthday of Dragon Warrior, the Americanized version of Dragon Quest. Nintendo Power once gave this game away for free. Street Fighter II Turbo is celebrating the big 2-0 this week. Not the arcade game, but rather the Super NES update to Street Fighter II. It received glowing reviews, most hailing it as the ultimate arcade port. Speaking of Capcom and 20th birthdays, Journey into Darkness Strider Returns hit store shelves this week. For what it's worth, Capcom had nothing to do with this disastrous sequel, and the company completely ignored it when making 1999 Strider 2. Which was not released this week. As we near the end of the 16-bit era, we find that Ecco Jr. is celebrating his 18th birthday. Despite loving the first couple Ecco games, critics turned on this simplified sequel in a big way. Thankfully, the late-generation Genesis game didn't kill the franchise, but the Dreamcast game did. Skipping ahead to the PlayStation, August 16, 1999 saw the release of Legacy of Kain: Soul Reaver. The sequel is widely considered the best installment of the franchise, though many gamers waited a few weeks for the graphically superior Dreamcast version. Over on the magazine side, Next Generation talked up Sega's next big thing in 1997. Unfortunately, the thing in question was a Jurassic Park arcade game. The other big things included Top Skater and Last Bronx, neither of which had the staying power Next Generation had predicted. In that same issue of Next Generation, the unnamed critics gave 4 stars to Star Fox 64. Only one game received a higher score that month. That game? International Superstar Soccer by Konami. This month also saw Electronic Gaming Monthly's infamous Resident Evil cover. This hand-drawn design is still regarded as one of the worst magazine covers of all time, and EGM editors even apologized for it years later. In their defense, they were trying something different, to not sell any issues that month. And just in case you're wondering, Donkey Kong managed to muscle out Super Street Fighter II in EGM's 1994 Game of the Month. I guess they hadn't played International Superstar Soccer. And that brings us to the end of our very first week. There's a lot of information to process, so go ahead and watch the video 15 or 16 times to really soak it in. And then recommend it to all your friends, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and then, and only then, you have my permission to call me a dumbass for missing your favorite August 12th anniversary. I'll be back next Monday for another exciting episode of Gaming Cross History EX.